transferred to the new owner, which is not true.
Okay, so going with Class A combination, the two will do tonight at Bill's Food Center and J.L. Richards Meats and Deli. So we need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Class B combination, which is fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor. Headquarters, Restaurant and Bar, The Legend of Bergamot, Senior Peppers, Mulligan's Bar and Grill, Oregon Bowl, Ace's Main Tap, and Charlie's Main Event.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Class B fermented malt beverage and Class C wine, Keen Beans, which is the LLC, which is a Firefly Coffee House, La Roca's Pizzeria, Maria's Pizza, Scout Enterprise, which is Holstein Kitchen,
So moved.
and Celebrations Banquet Hall. Are we okay on that one?
So that one, there's still two outstanding
Okay.
issues for Celebration Banquet Hall.
So that's not part of it tonight.
Correct. There were
Yeah.
three outstanding issues, that we didn't have a CUP signed, we haven't seen the lease, and then she still owes us personal property.
Yep.
I'm sorry, she owes us money,
Yep.
and so,
Okay.
I think what we discussed was that the board would
It was
act
a
on it
contingency.
conditionally. So why don't you pull that one off and we'll deal with it separately.
Separately.
Okay. Okay, so we got a motion and a second, right?
We got a motion.
Okay, so let's go
Second.
back. It's gonna be Firefly, La Roca's, Maria's, and Holstein Kitchen, so that would be the motion.
Scout.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'll second.
okay, thank you. So any questions on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then we will go to
So for celebrations.
Celebration Banquet Hall LLC.
Yeah, and I think the conditions, so I think the recommendation is, from staff, is that the board approve the renewal on the conditions that first, she be issued her Class B license that's already been granted, and that can't be issued until, by the way, she pays some fees that she owes the village, and she demonstrates that she has a leasehold interest in the property. So, the only condition you need to worry about, because the clerk will handle the making sure those conditions are met. So the conditions for the board, the condition for the board is, approval of the renewal on the condition that the previously granted license actually be issued by the clerk.
Okay,
That's what we discussed.
so we need that motion, please.
So moved.
That's what we discussed.
Second.
Thank you. Are there questions on that or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Where are we?
Got one more yet.
Thank you. Knew I was gonna miss that one. Class B fermented malt beverages, this is Orcon LLC by Jennifer White, and this is Pizza Pit.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Now, I think we're ready for 16.
Move adjournment.
You're out of order. That's down a ways.
Sorry.
Feels like it should be. Minutes not requiring action, April 7, 2016, Fire EMS Commission minutes. Discussion regarding ambulance purchase.
Oh, we gotta do.
The chief's May monthly report, and recognizing Phil Van Campen for his leadership and guidance while serving as chair of the commission. So we've done that. Anything else to do there, Mike?
just that the,
Ambulance?
right, Jeff, the commission approved the purchase of the ambulance.
Okay.
Yeah, and Phil forwarded in the packet the breakdown, the responsibility of the village versus
Right.
the other townships, and
Yep.
that ambulance will be here. I think they set a date of September, and then there's a penalty per day if it isn't delivered on time, so Chief Milnarek is all over that.
Good. Okay, item 17 is unfinished business. There is none listed. Item 18, new business. Approval of pending new operator licenses. These have been approved by the police department. Quick Trip 302, Caitlin Studner and Carol Lockhart. Quick Trip 372, Alicia Lewis and Stephanie Wissinger. The Legend at Bergamot, Jason Boaz, Andrea Butcher, Audrey Entwistle, Zachary Hentrick, Marissa Cook, Molly McDonald, Laura Reimer, Kelly Reinhardt, Tessa Ryan, Sarah Wallen, and Jessica Z, and Stop and Go, Brandon Burry.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of pending renewal operator licenses, again approved by the police department. At Bill's Food Center, Brent Klein, Frank Raisbeck, Patrick Ring, Joseph Shoemaker. Quick Trip 302, Dorothy Frandy. Quick Trip 3731, Joseph McDonald, Steve Nelson, Adam Gilmore, Brian Wrighton, Heather Sickinger, Ian DeWild, Jonathan Whipperforth, The Legend of Bergamot, Brian Bonnell, Kelsey Zimmerman, and Stop and Go, Robert Roberts.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 19, future agenda items are listed. And now item 20. Mr. Bollig,
I will move adjournment.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yeah. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Judy Knutson. I'm the Executive Director of the Oregon Area Chamber of Commerce. We're here today to talk about our Summerfest coming up, which is the 23rd to the 26th of June.
I'm Jenny. I'm the intern at the Chamber, and we have a lot of different events happening during Summerfest this year. One of them is the Run, and similar to last year, we have a 5K, a 10K, and a 2-mile walk. And then new this year, we also have a 10-mile race and a Kids 1K. So the Kids 1K is actually free, and the kids get a free t-shirt and a medal. Next, we have our volleyball tournament. So you can get a group of 3 guys and 3 girls together, and you can sign up for that online. That's all day Saturday, and we also have a market on Saturday, which runs from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. There you can come and you can see what different business owners and local crafters have to offer. And on Sunday, we have our car show, which is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there's a variety of different categories that you can win awards in, and we give dash plaques. So it should be a good time.
So I'm Jeannie Carpenter. I am on the Oregon Village Board, and I'm in the Oregon Rotary Club. And I always try to take off the days of Summerfest to be a volunteer because these ladies do a wonderful job, and it's really, really fun to work with them.
It's not just the Chamber that is fundraising, it's also some other organizations like the Boy Scouts, the Lions, the Masons, and the Rotary. And Jeannie's in the Rotary as well as I am. And Jeannie, you want to tell us what the Rotary does there?
Sure. So Oregon Summerfest is our biggest fundraiser for our club. If you've ever had a brat or a hamburger or a hot dog at the Oregon Rotary stand, then you have helped contribute to about $12,000 to $14,000 we do in fundraising that goes right back to the community. The Oregon Rotary Club is all about supporting the community.
We are looking for volunteers, so if you're interested, we have quite a few volunteers that have signed up, but we're always looking for more. You get a free shirt and also a free ticket to get into one of the bands on either Friday or Saturday night. On Thursday night, we have Universal Sound.
Some local folks providing some great music, and that night is free. And that night is actually sponsored by Mueller Dental and my company, Wisconsin Cheese Originals.
So come down and listen to that. And then right after that is the fireworks. Thank you to Oregon Community Bank and All Color Powder Coating for paying for the fireworks and sponsoring them. And then we're going to have the band play again after the fireworks are over. And there'll also be baseball being played, so feel free to come down. On Friday night we have Cherry Pie, and then Saturday night we have Super Tuesday. Those are some of the bands that we're excited to have you come and join and listen to them and have a good time. It's a community event, it's a family affair, so we want everybody to come and have a great time. The other thing is the carnival is there all weekend also, and you can get your tickets for $6 advance tickets, and you can get those at many places around town. BMO Harris Bank, State Bank of Cross Plains, Oregon Community Bank, Hometown Pharmacy, Bill's Foods, and the Oregon Pool. So feel free to go in and get them. They do sell out fast, and we do not get any more once those are sold. So it's a good money saver for your little ones. The other thing is our parade is Sunday, and the parade brings a lot of people downtown, and it's a fun time to come and watch all the entries. We're having entries coming in more and more every day. The Lions Club will have the Thrill on the Gorilla. It's right after the parade. So if you'd like to come down and enjoy some barbecues and also some chicken dinners, please do. So, we just want to invite you all to come down and enjoy the weekend and have a good time. It's a family fun event, and that's what we want everybody to know it for.
So for more information, you can go to www.oregonwisummerfest.com. And there you can sign up for any of the events previously mentioned, and also sign up as a volunteer or just find more information in general. Also, if you get any photos of you and your family having fun at Summerfest, we would love to see those on Facebook. You can tag them with our hashtag, and then you can check out the fun other people are having at Summerfest as well.
One and only rebel child of a family making mild. My mama seemed to know what lay in store. But all my Sunday learning, to the bad I kept on turning, till mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. And no one could steer me right, but mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her playing I denied, and that leaves only me to blame, 'cause mama tried. The road that rest his soul dealt my mama heavy load. My mama tried so hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her playing I denied, and that leaves only me to blame, 'cause mama tried. And that leaves only me to blame, 'cause mama tried. And that leaves only me to blame, 'cause mama tried, yeah. Here comes another original. Sorry guys, we're having tuning issues tonight. It's pretty dry in here. This is called Devil in Disguise. You're no good when you look to the camera, 150 eyes, and they'd all love to have you. There's no doubt about it. Let's forget about it, even though these guys just love to talk about it. Go to the bar and you order a shot, then you look around to see the prey that you got. Well, they don't know about you. They might think that they do, begging and pleading just to spend a little time with you. And ain't it funny when you look back and feel all them poor souls nipping at the back of your heels? Well, just leave them there, you never care. Got them look so good, it wasn't really ever fair. You don't smile 'cause the burn would be too much. Oh, you look hot when I get close, you're cold as hell to the touch. I know I've seen it with my own eyes. You're the devil in disguise. You never want him, you can't have him. Your heart is like a knife and you use it to stab him. He'll bleed for you, all that greed that you keep beneath the seams of your skin, and you don't care if it hurts him just a little. The stitching is cruel and the needle is brittle, but you keep ripping him, you keep stiffing him. You got a bottle that you used to keep tripping him. You don't smile 'cause the burn would be too much. You look hot when I get close, you're cold as hell to the touch. I know I've seen it with my own eyes. You're the devil in disguise. don't smile, because the burn would be too much. You look high, and I get cold, you're cold as hell. To the touch now, yeah, to the touch. I know I've seen it with my own eyes. You're the devil in the skies, yeah. You're the devil in the skies. No good when you look to the camera, 150 eyes, and they don't know they have you. Thank you so much.
Work it out, pretty baby. I said it one more time. Let's work it out, pretty baby. I said it one more time. And if it don't get no better, you go your way and I go mine. Talk it over, pretty baby. I said it one more time. Talk it over, pretty baby. I said it one more time. And if we can't come together, you go your way and I go mine. Make love, pretty baby. I said it one more time. Let's make love, pretty baby. I said it one more time. And if it ain't good to you, you go your way and I go mine. Pretty baby, let's go to a show. Let's go to dinner, pretty baby. Let's go to a show. And if I don't make you happy, I ain't gonna let Ryan McGrath play for you no more. one more time. Say it's fun, pretty baby. I said it one more time. If we can't come together, you go your way and I go mine. It's a little number, Billy Boy Arnold tune I learned when I was living down in Chicago. Some days I miss Chicago, but Madison's my home.
We're going to do another original for you now. This song is actually called Play Something I Can Dance To. It's based on a true story. We were playing a private party, and a gal came up to me and said, "You play too much blues. You should play something I can dance to." And I was like, "You can dance to the blues." So she didn't like that.
Apparently not in Sun Prairie.
So fine, what you wanna be? Long live the body, face so fine. If a man in a club could believe his eyes, been slow all night. Wanted to move, but it don't feel right. Wanted to leave, but I couldn't believe what you want up by my side. Waiting for a break, did you put me in close? She grabbed my arm and I was gonna explode. And she whispered in my ear, "You wanna take me home? One thing left to do, play me something I can dance to. Play something I can dance to." Shaking them hips and I was feeling the power. I move it up and then she dropped it back. Giving every daughter's father damn heart attack. Band's been right all night, giving a move and then they got it so tired. I wanted to stay, but she wanted to go. It's time to call it a night. Waiting for a break, then she put me in cold. She grabbed my arm and I was gonna explode. Whispering in my ear, "You wanna take me home? One thing left to do, play something I can dance to. Play something I can dance to." Ooh, yeah. dancing on the floor till the midnight hour. She was shaking them hips and I was feeling the power. Move it up, then she dropped it back. I'm giving every daughter's father down my heart attack. Bands were slow all night. Wanted to move, but put it on, feel right. Wanted to stay, but you wanted to go. I guess it's time to call it a night. Yeah. Waited for a break, hold me in close. You grabbed my arm and I was gonna explode. And she whispered in my ear, you wanna take me home? One thing left to do, play me something I could dance to. That's something I could dance to, yeah. Tick-tock, baby, start the clock. I got a brand new Mercedes in the parking lot, yeah. Tick-tock, baby, start the clock. I got a brand new Mercedes in the parking lot, yeah. Damn, brother, you know she's a fine lover. Another drink of water, gotta call her great-grandmother. Damn, brother, you know she's a fine lover. Another drink of water, gotta call her great-grandmother. Waited for a break, pulled me in close. She grabbed my arm and I was gonna explode. And she whispered in my ear, you wanna take me home? One thing left to do, play something I can dance to. Oh, yeah.
On my way to Memphis, on my way to Memphis, I'm gonna catch that high-speed train, now pretty mama. On my way to Memphis, I'm gonna catch that high-speed train. Yes, when I get where I'm going, I will be a happy man. When I get to Cairo, when I get to Cairo, I'm sure gonna raise my hand, now pretty mama. When I get to Cairo, I'm sure gonna raise my hand. I'm a regular now, and I know you don't understand. When I get to Memphis, when I get to Memphis, I'm going over to Arkansas, now pretty mama. When I get to Memphis, I'm going over to Arkansas. They got a woman over there, oh yeah, prettiest thing you ever saw. When I get to Memphis, when I get to Memphis, I'm going over to Arkansas, now pretty mama. When I get to Memphis, I'm going over to Arkansas. They got a woman over there, prettiest thing you ever saw. Come on, Ryan, play me something and be right here. is not here. My home is not here. It's everywhere that I go. Now, pretty mama, my home is not here. It's everywhere that I go. So I'm gonna leave you, darling. Not gonna take your dogging no more. Buy me a ticket to Little Rock. I buy me a ticket to Little Rock. I'm going over to Texas too. Now, pretty mama, I buy me a ticket to Little Rock. I go over to Texas too. I'm gonna leave you, darling. Not gonna take your dogging no more. About Memphis, but that one I learned down in Chicago too from my buddy Barrelhouse Chuck.
Here comes, we recorded the song in Minneapolis last year about this time, maybe about a month ago this time, and recorded at Egg Studios. This is called Know My Name. If you like it, it's on our website, RyanMcGrathBand.com. Wake up, try to get to moving, got a job, try to pay the bills. People say I'm gonna be a star, but I don't think I ever will. Play real hard, try to please the crowd. The people keep saying that they love the song, but sometimes it loses its thrill. Sometimes it loses its thrill. Hometown, everybody knows me, where you living, how you been. It's so neat that you're living out your dreams and playing in a rock and roll band. But sometimes I feel like I'm getting nowhere. All this music, nobody cares. Well, nobody ever understands. Nobody ever understands. Feels like I'm gonna lose my mind. Nothing left, I'm just wasting time. Don't ever think I'm gonna make it to that stage. Paying the bills and paying my dues. Man, it's a thrill just playing the blues. Someday, mister, everybody's gonna know my name. Everybody's gonna know my name. Yeah. Hey, mister, I know you've never met me. I'm wondering if you need a band. Tough luck, son, know we love to have you, but we booked 2 years in advance. But that place down the road, I know they'd love to book your show. All you gotta do is hang. All you gotta do is hang. Oh, feels like I'm gonna lose my mind. Nothing left, I'm just wasting time. Don't ever think I'm gonna make it to that stage. Paying the bills bills and paying my dues. Man, it's a thrill just praying the blues. Someday, mister, everybody's gonna know my name. Everybody's gonna know my name. Feels like I'm gonna lose my mind. Nothing left, I'm just wasting time. Don't ever think I'm gonna make it to that stage. Yeah, paying the bills, I'm paying my dues. Man, it's free, just playing the blues. Someday, mister, everybody's gonna know my name. Everybody's gonna know my name. Well, oh, oh, yeah, oh, oh, you never know, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was believing you were on your way. You're so deceiving. Thought I heard you say we'll make the rounds with each other. We end up here. I thought I found new love, you disappear. So tell me, baby, what's this all about? Keep saying that's the benefit of the doubt. Keep changing my mind. Thought I figured you out. I found a new job that pays pretty well. No one to breathe on me, babe, but you never can tell. You're alone when I come back home. Why the hell would I ever think to leave you alone? Tell me, baby, what's this all about? Keep saying that's the benefit of the doubt. Keep changing my mind. Thought I figured you out. Crawl through the smoke and find my way outside. There's no controlling, there's no place to run and hide. I see you standing there with another man. Say you don't know him, well, why you holding hands? And help me, baby, what's this all about? You keep saying that's a benefit of the doubt. Keep changing my mind, thought I figured you out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We don't know that one. This isn't a country band. We're gonna close with one of our favorite songs. Gotten a lot of mileage out of this as a band. You guys have been a lovely audience. I feel really blessed tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to Monona Terrace for having us. I'd like to make a quick announcement too. We hope you enjoyed tonight's concert. Please remember to make a donation. The donation box is located at the table right there by the front door. You can also donate online at communityevents.mononaterrace.com. Thank you so much. Your donations really do a lot for this community. Thank you so much. All right, well, with that, we're going to close an oldie but a goodie. This is I Had a Beer with Jesus. I was going through tough time. It seemed my job had gone sour. It was the day that my boss decided to lay me off. I headed down to happy hour. We walked up to the bartender. I said, whiskey on ice. That voice by me said, better make that 3. I turned to see Jesus Christ. I had a beer with Jesus. Lord, he's a dancing machine. He ordered the tabs and put us one on my dad. The next 7 rounds are on me. I had a beer with Jesus. He said it wasn't a sin. He bottomed his glass and we kicked Judas's ass at a whole bar joined on in. Got to talking a while. told him all about work. He said that boss of yours ain't fit for scrubbing floors. Sometimes he can be such a jerk. Talked for 3 hours at 4, and he bought us several more. He said, I'm tired of thinking, I came here for drinking, so let's go hit the dance floor. I had a beer with Jesus, Lord, he's a dancing machine. He opened up tabs that put us one on my dad. The next 7 rounds are on me. I had a beer with Jesus, Lord, he's a dancing machine. He found on his glass and we kicked Judas's ass, and a whole bar joined on in. I had a beer with Jesus, Lord, he's a dancing machine. He opened up tabs that put us one on my dad, and the next 7 rounds are on me. I had a beer with Jesus, he said it wasn't a sin. Well, he bottomed his glass and we kicked Judas's ass, and a whole bar joined on in. Here, you guys sing it. Come on now. Yeah. Lord, he's a dancing machine. He opened up tabs that put us one on my old man. The next 7 rounds are on me. Come on. He said it wasn't a sin. After 11, he went back to heaven. But he swore he'd come back again. You guys have been such a lovely audience tonight. Thank you so much. Be sure to get home safe.
got a great show for you. I'm very excited to be here. First off, I'd like to invite Bev Kazingrili out to the stage, and we're going to be... I wrote a couple things down that I have to say. I'm excited to share my music with you. And then the first thing that we're going to be going over is the state solo and ensemble pieces. And basically that's just a competition where you go, you sing pieces and you get to go to state. And then you sing there. And that was actually yesterday. So I sang this song yesterday and I got a 1 on it again. So that's the best you can get. So that was exciting. So this is called The Vagabond by Rafe Vaughan Williams, which is a weird name. So here it is. Jolly heaven above and the byway nigh me, bed in the bush with stars to see, bread I dip in the river. There's a life for a man like me. There's a life forever. Blow fall soon or late, let what will be o'er me. Give the face of earth a round and the road before me. Wealth I seek, not hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I seek, the heaven above. Let autumn fall on me, where afield I linger, swallowing the burden tree, biting the blue finger. White as meal the frosty fields, warm the fireside haven. Not to autumn will I yield, not to winter even. Let the blow fall soon or late, let what will be o'er me. Give the face of earth a round and the road before me. Wealth I ask, not hope nor love, nor a friend to know me. All I ask, the heaven above and the road below me. Next up, we have my piano piece that I did for Solo Ensemble, and this is by Mozart. It is called Fantasy 1 in D minor, and I was really excited to learn this piece because I hadn't really learned a real piano piece since I was like 12, because I haven't had a piano teacher for a long time, because of like switching schools and stuff, so this is the first one I've learned in a long time, so it was very exciting for me. So I hope you enjoy Fantasy 1 in D minor by Mozart. another solo ensemble one, the last one. And this one is with Tony Akale, so I'd like to invite him up to the stage. And then I'd like to bring back Bev. Yeah, give Tony a round of applause. We're gonna get Tony a mic. And then we'll sing this one for you. It's called I Leaned Against the Towering Mast by F. Mendelssohn.
Correct.
Yes. And then what was our fancy fact about it?
There's melodic dissonance.
Melodic, yes.
So that makes the song, even though it sounds happy, it's really sad. Eat the mic. Eat the mic. I made it.
All right. I leaned against the towering mast and saw the shores receding. Farewell, my own fair native land. Farewell, my
Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, June 20th, 2016 at 5 p.m. This is a meeting of the Oregon Village Board. I would like to call the meeting to order and request roll call, please.
Bollig,
Here.
Boudreaux,
Here.
Brethauer,
Here.
Carpenter,
Here.
Grenier,
Here.
Poole,
Here.
State.
Here, thank you. We are all present and accounted for. Item 3 is public appearances, and item A deals with the Historic Preservation Commission June 15th meeting and other items regarding downtown with the water tower and the Welcome Center. And with that, I would like to introduce Randy Glish. Randy is a master fundraiser, and even more important, a model resident in helping things to get better in the village. We appreciate that. So, going to make some comments, Randy, then we'll bring the motion to the floor and go from there.
You should have a flyer I put by your desk. So I'm going to just walk it through a little, down memory lane a little bit. When we started, 2013 is when we started looking. Someone mentioned the landscaping around the pump house, and that's how we started. We got $6,000 in kind with the plants and the brick edging that went around the whole building. The pump house hadn't been used in about 34 years. Then everybody said, let's do a full restoration. So we did a full restoration on the inside and the outside. So we raised $38,950 in cash, and then we had about a little over 41,000 in kind. Total for the Pump House Welcome Center was 80,000. We had 195 community contributors to the restoration. As you know, it became the Oregon Village Welcome Center on May 16th, 2015, and then that same year was awarded the 2015 Historic Restoration Award from the Madison Trust for Historic Preservation. Then people said, hey, what about the tower? Let's do something with that. Well, okay. So that had not been painted. Last time it was painted was 1981. Raised a little bit of money, 26,000 in cash, 2,000 in kind. That 2,000 comes, if you haven't noticed, the new Tin Man patio was installed last week, and we had 50 community contributors to that as well. So just some final sort of comments. I never would have thought that this was gonna take this this journey, but I think maybe tonight we're sort of getting near the end, from 13 to 16, not too bad. So altogether we had 245 community contributors to both projects, 114,000 raised in cash and in kind. And I want to say, a lot of people give me credit, but it's the community that sort of opened their pocketbooks, and a lot of donated labor and materials, and otherwise this certainly wouldn't have happened. So we're sort of coming to the end, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a good night for the Tin Man. So, thank you.
Thanks, Randy. And you're absolutely right in your last comment that it's a great credit to the community with the way it participated. That takes leadership. You supplied that, and we appreciate it very much. So I will, for the motion, turn this to Trustee Brethauer, who is on the Historic Preservation Commission. Doug?
Sure. I'd move to award the contract to Lane Tank in the amount of $62,500 for the painting of the downtown water tower, and to proceed with the lighting of the tower in the amount of $11,682, which is Searles' electrical proposal, and to include the $62,000 in 2016 borrowing for the project. And as a special note, through Randy Glish's efforts, $64,950.13 has been raised in cash donations, not including in-kind donations, for the pump house and water tower improvements.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Questions or discussion from the board?
No, I just want to commend Randy again. I know he likes to credit the community, but he started the drive. Without his initiative, we wouldn't be here right now.
And I was thinking while Doug was reading that, I've been on the board 14 years, and while Doug read that, I thought, when this came to us before, I think it was $250,000 to paint it. Up to that has come down, which is great, but I didn't think there would ever be the impetus to get it painted. So that means it's either moved a lot faster than I thought, or I've been on the board too long. So either way, it's good to be getting it done. So it'll be very nice. Any further discussion or comments? Okay, so we have the motion and second, as indicated by trustee Brett Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're at the finish line.
Yeah, we gotta look for another project for you now.
I was gonna say, I don't think we're worried is what he takes up next. So we wait till Jim is ready.
Yeah, we should, please, yeah.
So go to 8G.
Yeah, this is hotel. if you don't mind.
Okay. So we're going to move to 8G to help people in the audience who are here. Item 8 is communication and miscellaneous business, and G is the hotel project update. So, Mr. Grayson.
Eric, you want
Londa's
to come up,
here.
please? And we had a good meeting this morning, and Eric, you want to maybe summarize what we talked about?
Absolutely. This is Eric Lund. I'm with SNL Hospitality, and we have come to several meetings over the last maybe 6 or 8 months and proposed putting in a hotel in the village here of Oregon. And we had a great meeting today with Michael and the staff as far as kind of going through where things are at right now. We met with the lender, Steve Piotr at Oregon Community Bank, prior to the village meeting. And where we're at is we are proposing on the TIF, kind of a pay-as-you-go TIF versus getting the money up front like we had originally asked. And I know early on it was proposed, would we consider a pay-as-you-go? And at the time, didn't understand the full understanding of the letter of credit that might be asked of us, or the longevity, or how long that would need to stay out there. So the dollars are going to be put up and into the project, and then the development agreement that we put in place with the village will have it that the real estate taxes that we pay will come back to help retire those TIF dollars with an interest rate of 4 or 5% or whatever that is put onto it. But yeah, I think it's better for the village because there's no money being put into the project up front. It's really on the increased value of the property and the complete build-up of the hotel in its entirety. So I think it's a win-win for everybody involved. And we talked through kind of a timeline. We feel we've today ordered the soil borings and the testing on the engineering work that needs to take place.
Eric, I'm sorry, could you just use the other mic, please? I think that mic went dead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Slide over.
Thanks, Jeff. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So we put a timeline together. We're ordering soil boring tests on the property. We have to have underwater detention because there's not enough property on site to have an on-site water detention on the property. So it'll be underground, and so they're going to do some soil tests, and that will probably be back by about the 11th of July or so. And at that point, you guys will be meeting again, and we can have a development agreement put in place and probably executed that week. And we'll have the updated numbers from Ellers to go through and show how this pay-as-you-go would happen, and then you guys can get comfortable with the timeline of how long that's going to take to retire the TIF, so to speak. And then we will probably go through the planning and approval process in the August meeting, probably hopefully get approval by the September meeting, and then have a foundation or be able to break ground by mid-October, and then open, late next spring with the hotel.
Sounds good.
So, I think we're all aligned as far as, what needs to happen and how it's going to take place. But, the good news is we're moving forward, and, we're in a good spot.
Good. It's good to see that smile.
So I would open it up to any other questions, or Mike, did I miss anything from?
No, I mean, I know we talked about a little bit that, as you do your engineering, you discover some challenging costs or issues that you may come back to the board, and so we'll deal with that one.
We have, we've put together a development budget, and based on the numbers that Ellers was given, the project still stands at roughly a $5.6 million development. And we have money allocated for what we feel is being told to us from the engineers of how much it's going to cost to do the underwater detention, which is roughly $50,000 to $60,000. Now, I suppose there's a chance it could come back and be significantly higher than that, but I really don't think that'll be the case. I think once these tests are done and the results come back, they'll be able to verify with certainty what it's going to cost us to do that. And then we would just proceed with everything that we have. And if there's a change, as Mike mentioned, then possibly we need to talk and say this is what we're finding out. But at this point, I'm going to remain optimistic and think that we're going to get it done for what we're being told it should be.
Good. Are there questions or comments, anyone?
No, I'm just gonna say that's really good news, Eric. That's probably the most low-risk way a TIF can work is the pay-go.
Right, I mean, it's, instead of having the letter of credit and having a burn-off of doing that for a period of time, the landowner that's going to be remaining in the deal is very excited about the opportunity and, the gateway into the community and having a beautiful property with all the amenities that we've talked about before. And then that can lead to other developments that we could do down the road, or, a couple of years from now, maybe there's a second hotel because the demand is so great that, we just need to have it.
Again, I hope for the best. It'd be great news because that it'd be nice to get a hotel in that spot, and it'd be nice to do pay-go because that is basically you just take the dollars at the end of the year and retire toward the TIF. So
right,
it's an ideal situation.
Yeah, this is a project the board and residents have wanted for a long time, so it would be nice to come to fruition, and we're getting really, really close. That's good.
Great.
Anything else? Anyone? Staff?
Nope.
Okay, I think we're all set.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you hanging in there.
Thank you.
So that takes us to item B, which is 2016 borrowing. One of Jim take over. Right
Yes,
away.
please.
Yeah. So let Jim Mann from Eller's Financial Advisor take over right away and give us his report, and we'll proceed through with item 3B.
And so, Steve, maybe when Jim's doing that, the board had any questions about any of the projects? I know you've seen this list before, but in case there's any, I just put it on there for discussion.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to come back.
Oh,
Jim.
that's fine.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Thanks, Jim. You're welcome.
Jim, good seeing you.
Always glad you pick numbers.
It's the alternative.
That's true.
We did, on your behalf today, conduct a competitive sale for your 2016 capital borrowing needs. This morning we took the bids. We received 5 different bids. The low bidder was from Maestro Financial out of Chicago, Illinois. Their bid was a blended interest rate of 1.47%. Which is about 42 basis points less than what we had shown you in the planning runs, which was 1.89%. Their actual bids themselves, the interest rate ranged from 0.75% in 2017 to 1.875% out in 2026, and we blended all together to just give you what an average interest cost basically would be. At the end of the day, what does it mean for the taxpayers of the village? $64,000 and a little extra less interest cost and issuance over the course of the 10 years that you're going to be paying these notes off. So bottom line, a very positive sale today. Again, the village is trading on its AA2 rating. We've included the rating report in the packet for you to take a leisurely walk through. It gives some pretty good information about the village. I can't emphasize enough that the village's finances are in very good condition. You've had steady growth in a manner that is well planned out and doesn't cause concerns to the rating agencies. And when you couple that with the overall finances of the village, pat yourselves on the back because you're in very good position. A lot of times we get questions on what would it take for us to get to the next level, which would be a AA1. Probably about $2 billion worth of value would get you there. The likelihood that you're going to move up is not significant.
I talked to my hearing about that on Friday. It's funny, Mike was all excited about us keeping the rating. Of course, I'm being Mr. Critical, like, why are they picking through this? And I was asking him that very question, what it would take, because I anticipate us crossing over the $1 billion value at some point. He thought that they would look at it at that point, depending on what else is happening in our finances.
Once you hit that threshold of $1 billion,
Yeah.
that's when they'd probably start looking at it.
Yeah.
Would it guarantee you that you're gonna move up?
But
That
not,
would-
but not before that, that's what he
But
said.
not before that. I'd be more comfortable if you were at the $2 billion level
Me would
for
too,
you to get
yeah.
there. But, you know, that might not be in my lifetime.
Yeah.
It'd be in Mike's lifetime, but not mine.
Thanks, Jim.
I can go into detail in terms of the overall impacts of spreadsheets, but I thought I'd give you the 30,000-foot view first.
Okay.
Let you know that the sale came off smoothly, and I think we got great rates.
Yeah.
Lucky for you guys, I think you may have timed the market just about perfectly.
Mike and Lisa usually do, I think. so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No, we
we-
were getting a little nervous about, they were talking about raising rates, but then they decided not to do that.
Well, they backed off again from
Yeah.
that because of some instability elsewhere in the world, but we've seen a precipitous drop of interest rates over about the last 2 to 3 week period. So, and we're hitting record lows again in terms of where our interest rates are, which is great for you guys selling more money.
Yeah.
You know, it's too bad we're not ready to do the Civic Campus project just yet, because now would be a great time to borrow for that.
It's good.
Look at Jeff.
Pardon?
You see Jeff's
Oh.
eyes light
Oh.
up when Civic Campus came out. So are, any questions at this point? You want to go ahead with more? Was
No,
that your
you have a
plan?
resolution in front of you. We did, I would say that we downsized the issue from the original size of $2,375,000, which was estimated, down to $2,340,000. That's a combination of a couple items, less discount being taken by the underwriter, as well as some lower issuance cost than what we had put in the planning runs. And that feeds into the $64,000 less cost over the life of the issue.
Okay.
Jim, what are the costs to the taxpayer on this obligation?
In terms of total cost or on an annual basis?
Either one.
In the first year, basically it's going to result in about a 6-cent increase from 2016 to 2017 in terms of your debt costs per $1,000. So on the average house, if using about our base value is about $225,000, results in about $15.
Thank you.
Anything else, anyone?
Are we ready for a motion?
Just about, I need to read it. Okay, so just a reminder, that item 1 and B is the 2016 borrowing projects list. We've had this before, but just so we all take a look at it if we need to, and also for people who are watching on TV can take a look at, see what this involves, which takes us to item 2, which is possible board action regarding the scope of engagement with Quarles and Brady for the proposed issuance.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the issuance and sale of 2.3.
You're a jump ahead. We're doing B2, the
Oh,
scope
okay.
of engagement.
I'll make a motion to engage Quarles and Brady for proposal issuance.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Any comments for staff?
Yeah, those costs are
Yeah,
included in this
correct.
issuance, yep.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions or comments? So we have a motion second to approve the scope of engagement with Quarles and Brady for the issuance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And then item 3, possible board action regarding resolution number 16-21, authorizing the issuance and sale of $2,340,000 of general obligation promissory notes, series 2016A.
And I'll make that motion at this time.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Other questions? This, of course, is what Jim just talked about. Any questions? Any further discussion? Seeing none, there's a motion second to approve resolution number 1621. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have to get you to do a roll call vote.
Oh.
Statutorily, you're required
Yeah,
to
forget that
take
every
the
year.
roll.
Mike should be reminding me. of that.
Sorry.
Pollock,
Yes.
Carpenter,
Yes.
Poole,
Yes.
Boudreaux,
Yes.
Brett Howard,
Yes.
Staton.
Yes. Okay, I think we're all set.
All right, I appreciate the opportunity to continue working with the village. I see that you all have iPads or some sort of notebook. Do you want all this stuff in pure electronic format?
I have to call Grenier as well.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
There was a pause. Do you want us to send all future documents just in electronic format?
That works for me.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well,
Are
they-
you able to upload on a day of sale? Because we don't have this document done until sometime in the afternoon. And then the question is whether you'd be getting it on your,
I mean, they got the draft resolution, as a PDF on their pads. Next time we do it, let's talk about it.
Okay,
The timing
all right.
of it, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate your continued good work. Takes us to item 4, which is approval of minutes, and there's none before us tonight. Item 5 is approval of vouchers. We have vouchers tonight in the general operating fund at $347,176.35 for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Thank you.
Second that.
Thank you. So what questions do we have?
If I may?
Yes, go ahead, Jerry.
On page, I can't find the page number, but it's Diamond Vogel Paints. We've got a paint striper there.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you,
Can
Jim.
I- For 6518. I think that's probably for Jeff.
Yes. That's, we have that under general equipment. We replaced our paint striper and we did so as well to be able to get a good trade-in on the one that we had.
Okay, was that in our budget, your
Yes.
budget, I should
Yep.
say? Okay. And then if you go down to number 2616, the wet testing, what is wet testing?
Wet testing is the testing they do. We send, the testing we send out for the BOD and the solids and everything that we're sending out to the lab.
So it's sewer expense?
It's a sewer expense.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I'm not done yet. Hang on.
All right.
You're always slowing me down. 8477 Thermistor products, a dehumidifier in the amount of $34.28.
Yeah, that was a replacement piece of equipment for the dehumidifier in well 5 that was broken and needed to be replaced.
Okay. Now I'm done.
Anyone else? You put up, okay, Jeff?
We can't get his packet to open in the viewer mode so that you have, like, you can get to the page number. You know how to do that, Candy?
I can't either.
I wonder why he was so quiet.
Did you hear that?
Thanks, Kenny.
There we go.
Now you know. I still have to see it another 12 times.
I'm here for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Thanks, Candy. So are we all set on vouchers? Any other questions? So again, we have motion second to approve vouchers. The amount of $347,176.35. Roll call, please.
Poole,
Yes.
Bollig,
Yes.
Brett Howard,
Yes.
Carpenter,
Yes.
Grenier,
Yes.
Staton,
Yes.
Boudreaux,
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes 7-0. Takes us to item 6, which is community input. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board tonight? You know the guidelines, Judy? I don't want to read them all, but I don't have to read them.
No, then I get longer to talk.
Oh, no.
No, I just want to thank everybody, especially on the board that's volunteered to help this weekend. Summerfest is here. It's Thursday night. We're ready to go. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Jeff Rao, even though I don't have it here yet. But The Public Works guys are wonderful to work with. They're giving me keys to get things done and all that other good stuff, so we're ready to go. Fireworks Thursday night, Sunday's the parade, so that should be a great thing. Other subject is we decided to have concerts, summer concerts all summer long, so we won't have a break in between. The Oregon Band is, they're playing until July 5th, and then we're taking over and doing the summer concerts. Ann Stone and I are putting it all together, so we'll go all the way to August 23rd on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. So we invite the community, it's free. We got sponsors to sponsor some of the bands for us and everything like that. So, and we do have community restaurants that are going to be serving food also, that for a small fee. So, ought to be fun. And the National Night Out is August 4th. So, all the way to August 23rd. So come on down Tuesday night.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
And as always, thanks for your work on Summerfest. It's a huge project, you've done that well, thank you. Item 7, proclamations and announcements. Item A, board comments, anyone? Seeing none, we'll go to B, staff comments. Item 1, Chief Yule's comments regarding the recent Oregon Observer article about Police Department's 2015 annual report. Chief?
Thank you. I'd just like to take a little bit of your time and talk about the recent article in the Oregon Observer that was focused on our 2015 annual report that was written by Scott Gerard of the Unified Newspaper Group. I read the article. I'm very disappointed in the negative aspects that the story focused on. This should have been an opportunity to highlight the positive programs of the police department and all that we accomplished in 2015. Instead, Scott focused on our past and the negative things that have happened over the years. This negative media attention is unwarranted, and I would like to defend the department, the community, and the innocent family members of those former officers the Observer keeps mentioning in their articles. The people I've talked to in the community are tired of hearing about the past. They're ready to move on. I know the affected family members are getting very frustrated to continually have to have this thrust in their face every time there's an article about the police department. Over 2 years now, members of the Unified Newspaper Group have repeatedly highlighted the struggles of deceased members of this department. I understand this was newsworthy, and the people had a right to know. When people, not just law enforcement, do something wrong, they should be held accountable. I get that, and I couldn't agree more. And I think I've already shown that I have no issues holding people accountable. I've expressed these concerns with Scott and Jim Ferroli, the editor, and asked them to stop focusing on the past. I've asked them to focus on positive changes we have made at the police department. I spoke with Jim, and he explained that they cannot do an article about changes without providing the reader quote-unquote context about why the changes were made. I told him, while I understand this thinking, I believe it could have been done without painting the department in a negative light and without mentioning names. Besides, I don't think there are too many people in Oregon, or Dane County for that matter, that haven't heard this more than 2 or 3 times already. I think that he said that he wants to do positive stories about the department. We'll see if that happens. I think the annual report was his chance to do that, because all we did was mention positive things about the police department and what we do for the community. So since the Observer didn't mention anything positive, I'd like to take a moment to focus on these contributions by the police department and what we do for the community. We highlighted our partnership with the schools, with our school resource officer, and our Police Explorer programs. We highlighted awards that our officer received, our National Night Out that attracts upwards of 1,000 people, our safety camp, by the way, which concluded again this year, which had over 100 kids, and we've been doing that for over 15 years. We highlighted our Shop with a Cop program that provides Christmas presents for those kids who are less fortunate. We talked about the training our officers conduct every year to make them better officers for our community. None of these positive events were mentioned in the article. So I would like to say thank you to all the officers, staff members, police explorers, and all the community members that work so hard to make this a better place to live. I find it disheartening that the media, and what I will call the loud minority, continues to dwell on the specific negative events of law enforcement and make no mention of all the positive things that we do in law enforcement to strengthen our communities, to make them a safer place to live, work, and play. All this negative media attention is having a dramatic impact on law enforcement personnel and on recruiting new officers. It's becoming harder and harder to find good, qualified people who want to join the profession, partly because of this negative perception brought on by the media. The reality facing young people today is Why would they want to face media and public persecution for defending themselves or others? In the face of potential losing their jobs, have to move from their homes because of death threats, and for what? For doing what they were trained to do. Our recent recruiting efforts are proof of this. We had 28 people apply for 2 open positions with our department, and of those, only 13 people were qualified. That's the lowest I've ever seen it in any department I've ever been a part of. So, also, although this isn't the time or place, there was mention in the article about the supposed reduction in calls for service. Doug, I think you mentioned that at one point as well. We'll talk about that later, and I'll kind of go into detail. There was some negative aspects, I think, associated with that in the article. I don't want to go into it now, but we'll talk about it later if you wish. So in summary, those of us at the Oregon Police Department are ready to move forward. We are taking positive steps to prevent the issues that have plagued this department in the past from happening again. I believe the community is ready to move forward and is tired of hearing about the past, and it's time the Oregon Observer moves forward as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. I think that's a very pertinent, well-done report, and I agree with every word of it.
Thank you.
We appreciate your positive leadership and the positive nature of the department, and the community has started hearing about it. As am I. I know a lot of the people, but a lot of heads are nodding, so, yeah, and there's a way to present context without bringing everything back up again for the families, and I appreciate your advice to the Observer on that, and I hope it sinks in. So
We'll see.
I know.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Any other comments? So item 2 is upcoming meetings. Mr. Grace?
Thank you, Steve. There are 2 committee meetings next week, Monday, but I think the board's going to have to go into closed session over the next couple weeks to talk about the hotel, to give Matt and the staff some direction regarding the pay-as-you-go, so that it sort of leads into Mike Harrigan redoing his spreadsheet. And so I will not be here next Monday night, but I know Matt would be here. I'm wondering if I should schedule a special board meeting on Monday night, since most of the board members are going to be here anyways for the 2 committee meetings, and go into closed session with Matt, and then you can talk to him about it. I mean, I'll be talking to him before Matt, but that way then we can get this out and then get a draft agreement and the spreadsheet done to send it to Eric so we can keep making progress to try to. I think the goal is to try to get this agreement signed or approved by the board on July 18th.
Okay.
So would that work if I did a?
That's fine with me.
Is that going to be a board meeting instead of the committee meetings, or in addition?
Well,
Or isn't there a lot on the agenda for the committees?
Well, there's, Brian has a couple things he wants to talk to the board about, and Jeff does too, so, so we could either do 5 o'clock board meeting, then personnel, and then public works, or.
That would be my preference. Then the trustees get to run their meeting and things.
That's fine, yep. I mean, sometimes it's kind of hard picking or trying to figure out when things are going to end, but I'll do my best to do that, so, okay.
Mike, will our financial consultant have the information that we're gonna require to?
He needs direction from you before he can, that's the problem, and the thing
So I
is,
guess not then.
if we wait till, even the week of the 4th, it's turning, so they don't mind, and then that way everyone's here, most everyone's here anyways next Monday night, so rather than trying to get a quorum the week of the 4th, which could be kind of a challenge, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we all have those dates? That's
And then,
all
yeah, there's obviously no meeting on the 4th, and then we have meetings on the 11th and the 18th in July.
So that's going to be the 27th for the.
27th at 5 PM for a special board meeting for the hotel, yep.
Okay. So that takes us to item 8A. We've had indication that the petitioner will be here tonight.
Yes.
So we will wait, that's when you hear from Pat, so, on the liquor license. So he's not here yet, we'll hold off on that and see if he shows up. If he doesn't, we'll deal with it later anyhow.
It's up to you, Steve.
Okay, so that takes us to 8B, discussion and possible action regarding authorizing police chief to recruit to fill part-time secretary position.
All right, so our part-time police secretary, Marcia Baggs, turned in her resignation to me last week, and I'd like to seek your permission to replace that position. It's part-time. I think she left, and her rate was $17.23, but this position is vital for our police department to maintain efficient operations. She does a lot with our clerical staff, typing reports and all that we kind of need to have done in order to maintain our policies and our procedures in those areas, so.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's all set.
Thank you.
Item C, discussion of possible action regarding approval of police department policies.
So I'll make that motion. It seems like this is just the next installment of policies as you're working through the manual to get it up to speed.
Exactly right.
Yep.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Doug's got a question.
I do have a
See it
question.
coming.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking at the line of duty death notification.
Yeah,
Is that beyond the EAP program? Does the EAP have?
it's beyond the EAP program. Yep. They're all involved in that, but, you know, we also have other resources to use as well.
Hope we never have to use that.
Me too. Thank you.
Any other questions? And for those on, who are watching, these are all online also.
Yep. Yep, they're all gonna be online. I've got another 6 more ready to go, so I'm trying to spread it out for my folks a little bit.
Any other questions or comments?
Chief, on the towing companies
Yeah.
and the vehicle towing policy, are those are just in the area there, I noticed.
Those are in the area, and all of those submitted insurance paperwork to me.
Okay,
So those are our approved lists. If they don't have insurance and don't have liability coverage, then we're not gonna use them.
okay, so how will you select a tower?
It's a rotating list on all of
Rotating,
that. Yep.
okay. All right, thanks.
Anything else? So we have motion second to approve the police department policies before us. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Item D, discussion of possible action regarding approving pay request number 2 for phase 2 and 3 of the bike trail from Mizey Construction for $13,768.08. And there's a note, the pay request includes a change order for fixing the slope on Cusick Parkway and regarding the ditch on the phase 1 trail. The rest of the pay request is removing the retainage on the project. This is the final pay request from Mizey on the project. Overall, construction costs came in $4,000 less than the original contract amount.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Any comments?
Jeff, are you satisfied with the quality of the work so far?
Yes, there's
Okay.
there's some minor things, we talked about some trees that we're gonna have them take a look at, but they'll come back under their contract to do that.
Okay, thank you.
If you've not been out there, it's even nicer this year with the new growth than it was last year. It's a beautiful trail. So,
Yeah. It's great, Jim.
Okay, any other questions on that? So we have a motion second to approve the pay request number 2 for phase 2 and 3 of the bike trail from Mizey for $13,768.08. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item E, discussion and possible action writing off $12.84 DLM business delinquent personal property tax.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments to be made here, Lisa, or is it kind of
Just
the
that the
same thing?
business moved out of Oregon in 2014, so they shouldn't have received the bill for 15.
Okay. Okay. Any questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, review of village administrators 2016 master calendar.
Questions about, just note that we are getting to the point where we'll be sending the budget memo for 17 to the board for review and then to the department heads next month, so.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what those dates will be yet for budget meetings?
Yes, we are looking at, because I've heard the comments from board members, they like to keep the meetings on Mondays. It would be October 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th. So those are all nights that we're typically are here, so, you know, we'll have to see how long the meetings are, but we're gonna try to keep them on Mondays if we can. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Excellent.
Any other questions on this? We've done G, so item H, bowling alley property update.
And we're gonna talk about that in closed session,
Okay.
Steve, so we can
So
kind of hold
nothing
that.
for there. Okay, and item I, adding trees to the youth center property.
Just a FYI, just that Gary's working with,
Yep.
the director.
Okay. Item J, is it last name Miners?
Yeah.
Okay. Item J, Deborah Miners has resigned from the Historic Preservation Commission, which takes us to item K, discussion and possible action appointing Jan Bonseville to Historic Preservation for a term expiring in 2018, which would complete the above term.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item L, building inspection public forum, July 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. Any questions on this?
I gave the boards a handout that Jeff, it was in your, in this plus folder.
Yeah.
Jeff prepared it.
Item M, discussion of emergency repair to air conditioning unit, replacing the condensing unit at Village Hall in the amount of $11,100. Funding is coming from the fund balance of the capital equipment account.
So we had it broke and we had to move on it because, as Judy was kidding, she doesn't have any air conditioning for the last week and a half, so.
Or air movement.
Air movement, so and unfortunately, it's a unit on top of the roof. I don't know if anybody saw, there was a crane in front of the Village Hall this morning putting the new unit up there, so.
So we're all happier now?
I don't think it's running yet. It's not hooked. Yeah.
Okay.
They're talking 2 days, right, Jeff, for the?
Yes.
Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow.
And that will just control that side of the building, or is that gonna be usable on the other side also?
It's just that side of the building.
Okay.
This building has actually 3 air handling units.
Okay.
Plus these air conditioning units. It's a hodgepodge.
Right. I was just curious if you looked into getting these type of units over there instead of what you did.
I mean, we still have to deal with, we could go with individual wall units in windows and that type of stuff, which kind of has its own problems associated with those. These are actually very expensive units.
They are. Okay. I didn't remember, and I know you can use heat and air out of those.
More than
in multiple
this,
zones.
singly, this unit is more than the entire unit we're buying for the other side.
Okay.
Yes,
Answers my question. Thank you.
Eric, I actually mentioned that to Jeff as I keep thinking, no, that was a good question you asked me last year about these, that we are gonna keep this in mind when something else breaks, we should think about doing this in a different part of the building, so.
Okay.
Yep. We're not convinced that what we're doing is actually gonna have a really good effect in the community room, so we're gonna see what happens when it gets turned on and
Okay.
figure that we may end up maybe putting, but our new HVAC guy is saying that, these are really high-end units, and so maybe we do something a little bit less in the community room if you had to do that, so. We've kept your idea in mind.
This also comes with an improvement over the level of control that we
Yeah,
have
that's
over
true.
the system, and
Yep.
we can go into maybe a little more detail of that in the closed session, but
You can't do that.
we can't do that. We won't do that, of course.
Nope.
But it does allow us a new level of control over our system that we don't have today.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on the air conditioner repair? That takes us to item N, letter from the co-owner of the former Methodist Church property at 249 and 267 North Main Street regarding history of the property. This is coming to us because of the item of the proposed project on the site, was at the Plan Commission meeting, and the reaction of the property owners in that area. So there's kind of a history of how the owners of that property now see that happen.
And so,
It's good information.
and actually, Robin did a nice summary of what happened. The TIF wasn't just created for this property, but otherwise, I thought what he explained was pretty accurate.
Do we have this letter?
Yeah.
It's in the packet.
It's in the packet. Oh, because
It's
my
out
packet
of,
jumps
it's out of
from
order.
K to M.
Yeah, I know.
It's right after O.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a little different alphabet than you, Eric, so.
How did you learn the alphabet, Eric?
Steve?
Yeah.
Just to add a brief note to that, this letter was also distributed to members of the neighborhood
Okay.
as well this past week.
Yeah, thank you. Doug just pointed out this has gone to neighbors in that area.
Yeah, so I sent it to obviously the board packet. It's online. I sent it to planning, and then I also sent it to Ray Volo. I asked her to distribute it, so.
How far in
obviously
the
she did.
neighborhood did they circulate that? Did you get one, Doug?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We actually we met at the Firefly. with the owners.
How many owners were there?
Two owners of the of the property.
Right.
Yeah, there were two people there.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? Okay. Anything else from staff?
No.
Okay, thank you. Item O, discussion of possible action, annual fire inspections, Village Hall, Senior Center, Library, and Police. Motion we have is a contract with Cintas for annual fire alarm inspections per NFPA 72 per the agreement dated 5/17/16 for Village Hall, Senior Center, and Library and Police Department separate agreement.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thanks for taking the initiative on that, Jeff.
You're welcome. It was kind of a through necessity and as kind of something that was brought to our attention, and we've had some good response to it, so I think it'll be a good addition.
Are we still talking about the fire inspections?
Mm-hmm.
What are we adding? What's the
Fire
addition?
inspections.
They haven't been done.
Yes, the annual fire, well, there's, I wouldn't say it's not been done. I mean, our custodial staff has routinely tested all of our systems. You know, they test the pole boxes and everything, but it's not what I would call a certified test of the system. We also have all of our fire extinguishers, you know, looked at and charged every year. This really is in compliance. This provides a report for each facility so that when the fire chief does go around to do their annual inspections, if they ask for it, we can provide them that report. And basically, they do go around, they test all this, they actually smoke test the smoke detectors. They also test the pole boxes and then look at the alarm panels to make sure those are reporting correctly.
Any further questions? So we have a motion second for approving the contract for the annual fire alarm inspections. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, report of committees. Item A, Historic Preservation Commission, June 15th, 2016. Trustee Brett Hauer.
Right, the first item is a discussion, the issue is placement of an historical marker at 357 North Main Street. And the motion would be to approve the purchasing of a plaque from Petchman Memorials for 357 North Main Street for $600, which would include the cost of Public Works staff installing the plaque in cement.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item B is a park board, June 1st, 2016. Doug, you're on board again.
Okay, the first item is a request by resident Eric Scalisi to place soccer goals within the village stormwater greenway behind Norm Champion Forest View Park off Lynn Trail. So the motion would be Amy Braun's move to approve the request to place portable soccer goals, the size of the soccer goals currently located at Bergamot Park, within the village stormwater greenway behind Norm Champion Forest Park View Park.
Second.
Thank you. These were intended for neighborhood use and
For
so
pickup
on.
games and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the point was to have the portable goal so there would be room to move them and do other things also, I believe. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, Doug?
Okay, that item refers to, is in regards to the placement of park benches near the pickleball court. And the motion is to see if the pickleball would be willing to contribute the benches for outside the fence area of the pickleball tennis courts. The village would contribute to the concrete as well.
Second.
Thank you.
So, is there currently a defibrillator located near, or an emergency pole box located near the tennis courts?
No.
You know, if we're gonna install pickleball, to me, that's gonna draw a more elderly athletic population. I think it might be worth looking into whether we'd wanna do one or the other or both.
I don't know how we'd secure that, though.
Well, you could, maybe, we could install some sort of an emergency pull station like they have on campuses.
Yeah. That might be, I don't know how expensive that would be, but that might be an option, but, yeah.
You're looking.
Do you have time to look into that? Would Brian be the one to do that, or?
I'll talk to Brian about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, so we'll let Mike and Brian talk. and
Just a thought.
See to get some information. Yeah, I think that's worth checking.
Yeah, definitely.
We can make it work. Anything else on that item?
They're
Swith.
going, just to
Yeah.
add a note that they're going to look at different kinds of benches to see which will be more comfortable for older people sitting there for long periods of time waiting to play. They proposed all the Leopold benches, which, as you know, don't have real strong lower back support. So they're going to see what other possible types of designs there might be available.
Yeah, it's a great enthusiastic group that's down there. I think it's Tuesday and Thursday nights, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they could consult with us on our director chairs when they're done.
Good thought.
Okay, we'll go back to motion on getting benches for outside the fence area of the pickleball tennis courts. We will contribute to the concrete. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, thank you. Item 10, minutes not requiring action. Those are from the May 11th, 2016 Library Board minutes and the May and June Directors Reports. Thank you, Nikki, for those.
I think Nikki wants to review these with the board.
Yeah,
If you-
we got a report from Nikki at our pledge tonight, so thank you for that. It's always interesting.
Always looking to share information, so you want to sort of make sure that we're all on the same page. And the handouts this evening are ones that came out of the May Director's Report. The spreadsheet with many colors was one of the attachments, being oversized. I don't think it made it into your electronic packets that you have. So I made copies of those for you to look at. As my library board found it rather illuminating, they thought that you might as well. And then in response, discussing that report with Mike, he asked the question, and how do those numbers look at the local level? So then the second spreadsheet is looking at the same information, but not based on size of facility, but based on Dane County. And I know it's a lot to digest, so it's not something that we need to necessarily discuss in depth right now, but I wanted to share the information, and I'm open to questions whenever you have them.
Okay, good. I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. It looks like real worthwhile information to take a look at as we go forward. So, thank you.
You know what would be really helpful? I mean, I can already draw some conclusions pretty quickly by looking at these numbers, but to your point, I think that you continue to make a strong case for the fact that the library needs to be expanded by quite a bit to get caught up to current, let alone to look into the future. It'd be helpful for me if you could take these numbers one step further.
Okay.
And sort of summarize what your takeaway is at sort of 20,000 feet. What do these numbers tell you
Sure.
about where you are and where you need to be?
Yes. To some extent, I've tried to not go there and let people draw their own conclusions, but I'm certainly able to share with you in the future what it looks like to me.
That'd be helpful for me.
Okay.
Certainly. Thank you.
And then I'll see if you're right.
You will be. Anything else on the library report? And again, thanks, Nikki, for what you put together. We appreciate it.
Thank you for taking a look at it.
Yeah. Item 11, unfinished business. There is none listed. Item 12, new business. Now we have approval of pending new operator licenses. These have been approved by the police department. At Aces Main Tap, Laura Young, and the Legend of Bergamot, Jessica Nankiville, and Matthew Roth.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And approval of renewal operator license, again approved by the police department. Bill's Food Center, Nicholas Cook, Mulligan's, Jeffrey Lyon, Quick Trip number 302, Barbara Hensler, and Legend of Bergamot, Hope Krieger.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Goodly moodly. You all right over there?
Way to go, Jerry. Any questions?
How long did you have that one teed up for?
I've been waiting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jeannie
Built up
says,
momentum with that one.
Jeannie said, move my chair. Okay, and item C, discussion of possible action on approval of resolution number 16-20, resolution for transportation funding, recommended by the League of Wisconsin Municipalities.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. And this is dealing with the condition of Wisconsin's roads and transportation infrastructure and the concern by many, many people and organizations that we're falling way behind where we should be. And it's so signed, but would be from the village board to the legislators and the governor, that it's high time to do something about it. I would say past time from my own personal perspective. Instead of letting things go. So, are there any questions or comments on this? I guess we need a motion, I'm sorry.
We got a motion and a second, I think.
Yep.
Wasn't me and Eric?
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't write that down. I remember that now, thank you. Any comments? Okay, so we have the resolution number 1620 regarding transportation funding to improve state infrastructure for transportation. Going to our legislators and governor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, thank you. There's some future agenda items listed. So we have to see if we go back to item 8A. Any recommendation here, Mike?
So I would, I don't know what page it is on pad, but I would ask the board to look at the email from Matt Dragney, which is behind the application. And I talked to Matt about this at length, and since he's not here tonight, I asked him to do this email that he is recommending, and I support that the board renew the license for Alpine Liquor. And going forward, if we have information that it closes or there's other issues, then you deal with it at that point. But at this point, there's no grounds to not issue the renewal at this point.
Yeah, I think it's page 75.
So, to that point, first of all, 9 times out of 100, I want to support your recommendation because I think very highly of your recommendations.
Yep, thank you.
In this particular case, given the history with regards to Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and the conversation that Steve had with Ted, which resulted in Steve being misled, and we talked about that already, so we don't need to rehash it. I have concerns about Ted's application and how accurate his application is. And I'd like to see Ted's application go through the process of being denied, to flesh that out. Specifically regards to convictions.
So it's not, the village options are either to renew the license or initiate a none process. So you start the revocation process.
That's what I'm
Same thing.
suggesting.
Yeah.
I've got concerns about the accuracy of his statements regarding convictions and the accuracy of his statements regarding no other businesses outside of Oregon.
Okay.
And in fact, he references in his email to Candy, we will take care of other issues outside of Oregon and reopen ASAP. So that sort of adds to what I thought I knew, but I don't know it from Ted.
Is that a motion, Jeff? To start the revocation process?
Yes.
I'll second that. And I have a question. Does that mean all his fees are paid now?
His fees to the village are, I believe.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's current.
Right.
Okay.
So, may I ask a question? I anticipated this, so, well, somewhat.
What am I gonna have for dinner after?
No, I'm always trying to figure this out, because, I'm thinking, since Matt, if the board doesn't mind, if Matt is here next Monday to talk about the hotel, I think you should have a discussion with him about the process, because as he explains in his email, you have to do a hearing, you have to present evidence, it's somewhat of a process to, revoke. Yeah, I'm not sure. Candy said, I think you have to renew before you can revoke. I'm not sure about that. But I think the fact that the board's gonna be here next Monday, it's before July 1st. Let's have Matt here and talk to the board about the process. And
So
you
we have confirmed that he holds a valid seller's permit.
No, but what Matt is saying in his email, that even though the DOR is saying don't issue a license, Matt could not find anything in chapter 125 that you could deny, or not deny, but not renew the license because he doesn't have a seller's permit. Because it'd be like somebody, when we had a restaurant in town that was, they had a seller's permit, but it was closed like for 2 months, and they still hung on to their license. So
Okay.
It's very, like Matt has always said,
So
it's easier to deny a license initially than to revoke it once the person has it under state law.
Okay, so if I follow this through, assuming Matt gives glowing testimony why we need to renew this, the state could yank that seller's permit at some future time.
But I think what Matt told me on the phone was that he yanks the seller's permit, doesn't mean his license with us is invalid. There's not something at this point in chapter 125 that says that the liquor license is invalid because of a seller's permit.
Okay, so the liquor license is valid. Is he still in business if he doesn't have a Wisconsin seller's permit?
He can't sell.
Okay.
So the board could issue him the license as of July 1st, and the state basically has given him a little of a grace period until July 1st, or until July whatever, that's between him and the state.
So-
At some point, if he's selling without a seller's permit, he's gonna be in trouble with the DOR.
So to answer, to make my point, even if we give him a license, if he doesn't settle his affairs with the state, he's out of business.
I would, well, that's between him and the state, that's what Matt would tell you.
Okay.
Yep.
I got it.
It did sound that way in a letter from Department of Revenue that we had earlier. He doesn't have
It's
a seller's
actually,
permit.
it's right in there,
He's done. yeah.
right?
He
But,
has one right now.
yeah,
And I think in Matt's email, the key line is, in order to pursue non-renewal, there would need to be evidence that Alpine has violated chapter 125 of state ordinance codes or village alcohol regulations. That's what we have to know for sure.
and that's kinda what Jeff is getting at,
Yeah.
that he believes there is, yeah.
I don't believe I have concerns about the truthfulness of his application for renewal. And I want those concerns addressed before I'm willing to consider renewing his license.
Okay.
Can't we vote to deny, and then Matt comes next week and we send a message to Ted saying, we're concerned, and maybe Ted would take the 5 minutes to show up at a meeting and talk to
He
us?
said he was gonna be here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, I'm a little surprised by that,
So,
yeah.
if we deny it tonight, we can always renew it. We can do it next week. Again,
Oh, we've got a motion on the table.
right.
Yeah. I'm not an attorney, that's what I told Kenny this afternoon, I said, I'm not gonna be a municipal attorney tonight talking about chapter 125. Man, I don't think even Matt understands all that, to even admit that. So there's an issue is if you deny it, can you actually deny it
We're not
without?
denying anything, we're just not renewing it.
Okay, is that what the motion says?
Well, our options are either to renew or initiate a non-process.
Yeah.
So do you want to amend your motion that we initiate the non-process?
Well, that was my motion.
Oh, well, there we go. Those are our options. So
There you
we're
go.
choosing that one.
Okay.
And Bollig seconded that?
I did.
Okay,
That's right, I forgot.
okay,
No, that's okay.
So if we vote to approve that, we could come back next week
absolutely.
and to reissue the license.
Yep.
My guess is at any point in the non-process, we could decide to approve the license.
Well, I mean,
If the purpose of a process is
So
to
you
vet
can,
it out.
right, in the middle of the year, when the person has the license, you can start the process to revoke the license if you feel that the person has violated something in chapter 125. So-
Or we could not give them the license until we're comfortable that the application is an accurate application and that this is something that we do want to renew, and that would be part of the non-renewal process.
I think what Matt's gonna say to you, as he said this to me on the phone a few times, is that we better have good evidence not to issue him, not to do the renewal, so.
So if we choose to approve the non-process tonight, we're sending a message.
Yeah.
But then we have to find out real quickly if we have evidence to non-renew the license to stick with it.
Well-
Otherwise, we need to renew it next week, basically.
Yeah.
And Mike
understand
makes a
from
good
Matt.
point.
Go ahead.
He indicated he was gonna be here tonight. This
Yeah.
would be a lot easier if he were here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Well, actually, he was gonna be here with what's his attorney, I believe, and the other,
investor.
the investor, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, and so this would send a message that,
Yeah.
we don't appreciate
Okay.
your lack of interest in
Sure.
your license.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't vote for the license when he first came to us, so I have no problem sending a message tonight. And I think eventually we have to follow Matt's advice, because we have to do what we can actually do. But
Well, I'd like to ask Matt to to do a little bit of homework then between now and next week. Can I ask him through you? Or
He's-
can I ask you to do some homework between now and next week?
Yeah, he's out of the office until Saturday.
All right. So specifically, I'd like you to work through his department, his office.
Yep.
To confirm that Ted's never been convicted of a felony or a violation of any federal or state law or Village of Oregon ordinance regarding to the sale of alcohol beverages.
Okay.
And I'd like Matt to confirm that he, line 16, that he has not applied for any other Class A or B licenses for any other location within the state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Anything else, Jeff?
The rest of it is kind of for Ted. I'd like to know more about his answer on line 18. Describe how you plan to advertise, promote your business. What products will you be advertising? Ted's answer is none this year besides donations. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And,
It's on the supplemental, right?
sorry?
Is that on the supplemental?
It's on page
It's
2
number 18 on
of
the
the
form.
supplemental.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I just would like to know what that means.
Sure.
And other product services offered, Ted indicates tobacco as the only other product offered. If we could confirm that, please.
Okay.
Those, I think, those are my major questions with regards to the application.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? So we have a motion and second with regard to the liquor license for the Happy Sunshine Seminary LTD, which is Alpine Liquors at 905 North Main Street, and the motion and second is to initiate a non-process on the license. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that sends a message everyone wanted. Takes us down to item 14. The village board will adjourn into closed session during the meeting pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85(1)(e) to consider developing an offer to purchase the Oregon Bowl at 214 Spring Street, that property for possible use as part of the civic campus plan. We'll adjourn from closed session.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Staton?
Yes?
Poole?
Yes.
Grenier?
Yes.
Carpenter?
Yes.
Brethauer?
Yes.
Boudreaux?
Yes.
Bollig?
Yes.
That carries 7-0. We will go into closed session. We'll stay in this room.
Yeah, I think
right?
it's- yeah,
And
stay
we'll adjourn from this room.
you say about it, Amari? It helps you control your brain, which way is for you.
Yes. Nice.
Should we make him try it? Yeah.
Okay. Step back, just in case I fall.
You guys, sit down.
Okay. This is pretty cool.
Are you
I'm too big?
No.